Let's talk about the Boston story. Wicked. Oh my gosh, look at that. Big Wicked, big green woman. We call her the Wicked Witch. I sat and I kind of binged watched both at the same time. I never seen the first Wicked movie. I'm not a really big musical guy. I don't really like people singing in my movies. Talk, exposition, action, murder, gore. I like all that stuff. The moment people starts kind of like singing about how they're doing this stuff, kind of really just turns me off. So I never really went and saw Wicked until today. I finally saw it this morning before I went to go and see Wicked for Good. And I think both Wickeds together, watching them that way, I think is the more superior way. But I will say, so the first movie is definitely way more superior to the second film, Wicked for Good. The problem with Wicked for Good is that it's the B plot being put forward as the A plot, because it's kind of like fanny fiction of the original Wizard of Oz film. So it's kind of like setting up things for the original Wizard of Oz, but it's also trying to conclude these stories and characters from our part one, and they're kind of clashing together, and they're kind of both rushing each other in and out. So sometimes you just see Dorothy, or you see things or characters being set up that are main characters in the Wizard of Oz, and they give them weight, you know what I'm saying? They take time for you to see their new stories, their origin stories, how they become. But because they got new origin stories, they have new motivations in this movie that they don't really take the time for you to really see how they enact or even are woven into the story. Like the first movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes. This movie is 2 hours and 7. I feel like the running time for both movies can like swap, because if you watch that first movie, even though it is a superior film, it is just a lot of, when you get to this movie, you realize that we set up a lot of different characters and plots that don't go nowhere in this second part, that now retrospectively you can see that movie and kind of go, well, we didn't really need to see a lot of Elphaba's sister and Boq and his love for fucking what's her name, Galinda. We didn't need to see all these subplots because they don't go anywhere in this second movie. They're kind of rushed in and rushed out. Like, there's a storyline with Boq in this second movie for Good that they treat as if really matters, and then by the end of the movie, it doesn't matter. We don't even see how his story even ends, or how it resolves itself. It just kind of comes in. He gets like he's with Elphaba's sister, her crippled sister. Her crippled sister likes him. He likes Galinda, and there's kind of like these types of love triangles, forbidden love, and or unrequited, what do you call it? Receptive love or whatever, to each other, that drives his character to do things, but also drives Elphaba character to do things. And by the end of both of their storylines in this film, Wicked for Good, you're just kind of like, why did we even spend time with these characters at all if you're not really going to resolve them in any sort of way, or any way that would be in any way entertaining or intriguing to the audience at all. You just kind of show it. The movie almost feels like it's padding time. I mean, we have these characters that are beloved characters from the original Wizard of Oz, Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, the Straw Guy, the Straw Man, that's what I'm gonna call him. But we have them kind of, in the background, strolling, doing the things that we know them to be doing, off to go see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Now, this movie isn't like terrible. There is a lot of good here. The set design, it looks great. The movie looks great. A lot of great songs. I will say, even though I'm not a musical guy, I don't really like musicals. I will say it's a lot of great songs in both films. Obviously, the first one has better songs, and that Defying Gravity song is really, really great. It's just tremendous. Like, I was watching it, and I was going, I see it. It ends on such a great song with such great visuals and emotional weight to our character that we've been following throughout that first movie, that you have no choice by that when you're leaving the theater, or when the movie's done, you're in this great bit of emotional investment into these characters, and this song is amazing. The second film don't really have any that many amazing songs. One song I thought was just straight up I didn't really like, and that was the love song with what's his name, the Prince guy, Farhat, I think that's his name, Faru. Did not like his love song, his little love ballad to Alphaba. Didn't love that. Also because I didn't like the actors acting it. He looks crazy the entire time singing the song. He's just have because he has these like wide eyes, and I will love you. And it's I get it. You know what I'm saying? This is a very fine woman to him. He's about to tear it up, and she's opening up herself to get ready to get tore up. He's probably a little excited. I can understand, but his eyes are it's just something about him. Maybe because it was this, I sat really close to the screen. Maybe because it was how close in proximity I was to the screen, that kind of just overemphasized his look. Because to me, he just looked like he had like drug addict eyes. He was wide open and and I was just like, okay, this is his performance. He needs to calm it down a little bit. But Ariana Grande does a lot of great singing here. Vocals are crazy in this one. A lot of opera like, high pitched wailing, a lot of falsettos. She's going insane in both movies actually. She's putting her all into this singing. She's great in both movies. I like a lot of her character in both movies too. She has like this really plucky and quirky personality about her that's just extremely charismatic to her character. That you just feel for her. You find her funny. She has a lot of dimensions to her character, and that because she's because you can go down the road that she's the nice, plucky, beautiful girl with a mean spirit, and then she's changed. But no, she's genuinely trying to be likable. She's liked by most people, and she tries to reciprocate that likability back, which you kind of feel for her being Glinda the Good in both movies. Because that's what she tries to be. She tries to be good. But she's also, she's very much devoted to Oz and keeping that, Oz-like wonder about Emerald City in her world. And she has a real duality about her that just makes you really root for her at times, hate her at times, feel for her at times. You can get a lot out of her character and how Ariana Grande plays her with a lot of range just from watching it. She does great. Cynthia Erivo as the Wicked Witch, as Alphaba, as the Green Magic Lady, also really good. First movie, a lot more different emotions going on, mostly just empathetic. Girl trying to find her way in life. She's being downtrodden for her green skin, and everybody looks down on her. Even though you have talking animals in this universe. I mean, if a goat can talk to me, I don't care if you're green. You get used to what you get used to. Maybe you grew up. We got all these different races of people: black, white, Asian, Indian, Latino. You kind of used to seeing them, and then you got the goats and the bears and all these other animals talking. You get used to them. Maybe you get used to all these weird other things talking and interacting with each other. I mean, like, you go to a class being taught to you by a goat, but green woman, weird as hell, I'm just saying. And there's magic here. I mean, what? Well, how do you even, what I'm saying? There's magic here, there's talking animals. I would not be put back by a green girl personally. But I do think Cynthia Erivo in both films, either way, is really good. I love her singing, lots a lot of soul to it. You know that black woman soul to it. You know Ariana Grande has it as well. You know how Ariana Grande loves. You know she loves to change up her races depending on the day and the setting. And at times she was trying to soul out. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to go soul for soul with Cynthia Erivo, but Cynthia said, I'm full soul. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you like to act soul. I'm full soul. So, Cynthia Erivo was winning out in them soul battles. I think Jeff Goldblum's good in both. He more so comes in towards the end in the second film. I mean, comes more towards the end in the first film. In the second film, he's a lot more spread out throughout the story and the narrative. He's really good. He doesn't have the greatest singing voice. Obviously, our two leads, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, are the best singing voices out of everybody here. They are really much, they really much are just stomping out the rest of the other singers in this film because these two sing so perfectly and so great. It's so fantastic that when the other actors go to sing, you really see the difference. And I don't know if they're bad singers, but you just heard Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande hit every note as great as possible, and they're fantastic. And now you're hearing people sing slightly just like above average. It's good enough, and you're like, Jeff, you're good in a certain range, and they're keeping you there, but you just you're kind of yourself. You're yourself, but you sing it a little bit more. So I'm Jeff Goldblum. I'm being Jeff Goldblum, but I'm singing. He does good as the wizard because sleazy guy with all these sleazy weird, sly talker. That's Jeff Goldblum. That's what he's typecast as. Charismatic, weaselly as shit. That's just Jeff Goldblum. That's a Jeff Goldblum's character if there's ever been one. Michelle Yeoh, she's good in both films. She has this evil underneath her. You know what I'm saying? She is really wicked and manipulative. In the second film, she does some crazy shit, like some real powerful shit that you didn't really see coming, and then by the end of the film, how you think that narrative is gonna go doesn't really go how you think would go, because she's really powerful, and you think Alphaba is also really powerful in magic, and you kind of think that they're setting up something to happen between them two to fight and use their magic against each other, and they just don't. The second film is really entertaining. It's this extremely entertaining film. It's just not a very good one, so don't really think about it. Why are they fighting and having a comedic cat fight after something really tragic that just happened to one of our main characters? Why aren't they treating this as if it was tragic? There's something that happens to our main characters that's really tragic in this second film that and just randomly switches tones and it becomes comedic and actiony, that I thought that there was a second plan going on, and the thing that was tragic that was supposed to happen didn't happen, but then it's like, no, it did happen. The tragic thing did happen. They just don't sit with it at all, and it's really weird and it's really bad, and you're just like, what's going on? Overall, I found Wicked and Wicked for Good to be pretty good movies. Wicked 1 is definitely much more of a superior film. Better characters, better plot, better story. It's mostly a setup, so it's all the best things about a story. The setup, the journey, it doesn't really have to give you any form of destination. And it's very awe-inspiring with a great ending song that really puts everything together and puts everything into perspective, that makes that first film just really great to watch and really entertaining. I'm giving Wicked 1 at least. You're getting an 8 out of 10. Fuck it. You get 8. You get 8 out of 10. Wicked 2 gets a big fat 6. Thank you for watching. If you disagree with me, you thought both films were amazing, spectacular, the greatest things ever, and you're not subscribed, well, hey, subscribe. Now, you may say, why, Kyle? Because, listen, I say a lot of different opinions here. We didn't agree this time, but maybe next time we will. But in order for you to know that, you have to subscribe. I'm not going to ask you to like. I'm not going to ask you to comment because, again, we didn't agree. But I'm just asking you to subscribe to come back next time. Now, if you're not subscribed and you did agree and you made it this long, hey, man, do all three. Subscribe, like, comment. I mean, this video is like what? I don't know. The recording of this is only like 20 minutes. So this review is probably going to be like 10, maybe at the most 15. You lasted 15 minutes and you can't subscribe, like, and comment. You're going to be a terrible parent. You're probably going to abandon your child. You are a deadbeat bitch. And if you're already subscribed, well, you know what to do here. What am I talking about? What are you talking about? You know what we do here. You already love all the videos. You watch them all. You stay to the end. Like, subscribe. You're welcome for me coming back and reviewing. Really. Thank you for watching. And as always, good and bye.